Welcome back to Wtf Rc Cars. So, we've got the Losi LMT, son of a digger, and we're going to swap the Spectrum radio gear out for a Flysky Noble NB4 transmitter. We're using the FGR4P, I think it is, if I can get that in shot. Yep, so it's FGR4P, and then we're going to use a Flysky. So this one is an FS CTM01, and that's a temperature sensor, and a Flysky FS CVT01, which is a voltage monitor to monitor the LiPo. Now I know you can do telemetry on the Spectrum, but I'm not using Spectrum batteries, and to be honest, that just feels a lot nicer to use than the cheaper Spectrum radio gear. And I've just got a lot more options on this, and it's the transmitter that I prefer to use with all my cars. So what we need to do first, let's move all them to one side. So we've got the body clips removed, and basically I'm going to try and reuse this as an extension to plug the sensors into, and then I'm going to mount the sensors to the side and see how far down we can mount them. Basically by mounting them down to the side, it'll then move the point where the lights connect to, because you can use the same power feed. It's a pass-through on the Flysky sensors. So what I'm going to look at doing, I've got a few more of these extensions as well, so I might look at moving the Flysky sensors down to here and then use an extension to attach to that. So first things first, we need to unscrew the tiny little grub screw near the antenna and then get these two grub screws out. So I'll get them undone and then get back to you. Right, so that's the receiver box lid removed. So we've got steering in channel 1, we've got the ESC in channel 2, and they're using auxiliary channel 3 to power the lights. So we'll get all them removed, and then now we just need to gently pry at the receiver box to get the adhesive up. So let's get that one pried out. Right, so we've got the antenna wire put back through and the little grub screw in. We've got the FGR4P in place. We've got the extension that they're using to power the lights. I'm now going to use that as an extension for the iBus connector for the sensors. We've got the ESC in channel 2, steering in channel 1. In fact, let's have a look. That'll work a lot better that way around. That's better. Always worth checking polarity when you're putting these in. And that wire needs to be on the outside of the receiver box. So now what we need to do, now we've got all that in place, we need the bind plug in the FGR4P. The standard receiver came out pretty easy, and seems though this is only a day old. I've just reused the tape to stick the FGR4P down. So let's go and get a bind plug and see if we can get this connected up. Right, so we've got the bind pin in the bind position. Then you want to go to your model memory. You want to choose a blank model. So choose the one you want. Once you're on the one you want to go to channel number, make sure it's set to 4. Once you've done that, you can choose a name, and then the next thing we want to do, so we've got all that set, I want to come off there, and you want bind set, you want it on classic, and then start bind, and then if we go back to vehicle, so we've got the bind set, and you can check your servo frequencies, better off setting it down onto analog or set it to custom and then drop it down to sub 300. It's always better starting off lower and you can work your way up. And I've got other videos that explain why we do that. Not everything likes to work with the sensors with the servo rate turned up that high. Right, so now we've got the controller all bound up. So next thing we want to do is set up the ESC. So hold the power button down and the set button, tap the power button, keep the set button held. Once it starts flashing, let go. And then make sure your throttle is neutral. Press the button, you'll get 1 beep. And then you want full throttle and tap the set button, you get 2 beeps. Full brake, tap the button, 3 beeps. And that's all set. If you're using the Flysky, you want channel 2 reversed, channel 1 reversed. So go to your reverse setting, and steering wants to be set on reverse. And I've checked the full turn left and right, and there's no need to set the endpoints on mine. So it goes full swing, all way right, all way left. That's all working. So the next thing we need to do is get the telemetry. So after quickly measuring it, it looks like we've got more than enough cable to mount the voltage monitor on the side of the battery tray without having the extension in here. So basically you want to take one of the screws out the side of the battery clip, and it's just got a bar with a screw in either end, so you only need to take one out and the other side will slide straight out of the battery clip. And then loosen one screw off on either side of the battery tray, back these 2 screws out, and then that'll just lift up. And basically that'll give us access to the motor as well, so we can put a temp sensor on the motor while we're at it. So what I'm going to do now is just take one screw out either side of the ESC so I can get to that little hole there and get the extension out and get the telemetry sensor lead in. So we'll crack on with that. Right, while we've got this battery tray up and out way and we've got access to the motor, so I've strapped the temperature sensor to the motor, and I'm going to run the wire out the opposite side to where we put in the voltage one, and then I'm going to run the wire back underneath, basically just so we're not running cables everywhere, just to keep it tidy. So I'll have a quick look and see whereabouts they'll fit better, whether I want to mount them both to this side or whether I want to mount the temperature sensor off to this side, just to keep it nice and clean. So I might go temperature on that side and then put the voltage on this side, and then I've got somewhere where I can run the light wire extension out of. So we'll get them wires routed and then get this fastened back down, and then get the telemetry sensors mounted to either side of the battery tray. We've got the cable back in there and the ESC screwed back down. So that's right. So we've got a couple of extensions I had kicking about fastened in to tidy the cables up for the lights. And if we power this up, we should get the lights flashing on the voltage and temp sensor. Yep. And we've got the headlights on. So if we now power the NB4 up, so let's have a look. So on this one, choose sensors, and that one we want external voltage, that one we want external temperature, and then we've got the So we've got the transmitter voltage, receiver voltage, we've got the external voltage for the LiPo, and the temperature of the motor. And you can just click into any of these. When you go to choose sensor, you can turn on high and low alarms for each one. So that's all set up. So thanks again for watching Wtf Rc Cars. If you like and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys again on the next one.